Today I'm going to be talking about this little guy right here and why it is not only my favorite slider, but actually the only slider I need for shooting videos. Before we get started with this video, I want to make it clear that this is not going to be a comprehensive product review video, but rather I'm going to be talking about the Edelkrone Slider One with motion module and why it is the perfect slider for me. Now this doesn't mean that this is necessarily the best slider for you or the best slider in general for that matter. I'm simply just going to be talking about the things that I like about this and why you guys might like it as well. So as I mentioned before, this is the Edelkrone Slider One with motion module. This top portion right here is the Slider One, and down below it we have the motion module, and as you probably guessed, this is a completely motorized slider that is obviously very small and compact. The slider is controlled via an app on your smartphone, which is great because I bring my smartphone with me everywhere anyway, so there's no extra gear included or remotes or anything like that. And the slider itself takes Canon LPE6 batteries, and I actually bought 2 of these batteries and I've yet to have to use both. I've shot for about 6 or 7 hours using just one battery and I didn't even wear it all the way down, but I guess this depends on how hard you are working the motor. But when I'm buying any piece of camera gear, there's always a few things that I take into consideration. And when I purchased this slider, there were 2 main things that were especially crucial that helped me make my decision. The first thing I love about this slider is the size. Now you might be thinking, Daniel, how is this possibly enough space to get a nice cinematic slide? What I found after using the slider for a few months is that as long as you get creative with your shooting, you get the right angles, you use the right lens, and you have something in your foreground, you can actually get some unreal looking footage and beautifully smooth slides. Rather than looking at the small size of the slider as being a disadvantage, I actually look at it as a positive, because I can throw this thing in my camera bag, pop it on the tripod when I'm at a shoot, and move around with no problem. If you're shooting real estate videos and you have to move around from floor to floor, or if you're going in and out of rooms, having a big slider could actually be an inconvenience when you're walking through doorways, and it's quite cumbersome and annoying to carry around. This little guy right here, I can just plop on my tripod, move it around a foot if I have to, take it from room to room. So that is one of the things that I absolutely love about this slider. But moving on to the second and most important factor that drew me towards the slider, and that is consistency. When I'm shooting a video for a client, I want to be as effective and as efficient as possible. This means when I'm setting up my camera for a shot, I want to get the angle, hit record, get my slide, boom, move on to the next one and be done with it. I can't tell you how many times I've used other sliders in the past that are either manual or have a flywheel, and I have to try 5 or 6 times to get the perfect slide that I want. And maybe this is because I have shaky hands, or maybe I'm just not practiced enough, but having a motorized slider just takes the stress out of this completely. Using this thing and connecting it to the app, I know that I can set up my angle, hit record, start the slide, get the shot I want on the first try, and have the same consistent speed for every shot in the same video. The app itself is free, and all you do is connect the slider to the phone via Bluetooth, and within the app you have a bunch of options. You can control the speed and the duration of the slide, the ramp in and out, the starting point, a looping feature, and there's also a time-lapse function that I have yet to use. But with that all in mind, the point of this video is not to convince you guys to buy this slider, but rather I want you to rethink the way you look at camera gear. The biggest, most expensive gear is not necessarily going to be the best all the time, because everybody shoots differently, and as a result, the gear that they use will work differently for them. For me, my top 2 priorities for any piece of camera gear is consistency and convenience, and this slider I felt was best suited for my needs. However, the only thing I don't love about it is definitely the price. For such a small slider, it is definitely on the pricey side, but that is why you guys have to decide what is valuable to you. Something that costs $1,000 may seem like a ripoff to one person, but if that $1,000 is going to be what helps you make the videos that you want to make, then sometimes it is worth dropping that extra cash. But like I said, this is not a product review. I'm not affiliated with Edelkrone. I'm not trying to convince you to buy this slider. I'm simply just trying to make the point that you should really think about what's important to you when you're shooting videos. Do you shoot films for high budget clients and you need the most high quality everything? Or are you very run and gun and you want to get in and out of there as quickly as possible? But that's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it and found it helpful. If you did, please hit it with a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe. Also hit that bell so you get notifications, and leave a comment down below of what videos you guys would like to see in the future. And until next time, peace.